Imagine building a life with someone for nearly a decade. Two kids, a home, shared memories. You think you've got a partner for life. And then you find out that every summer trip she takes to visit her parents, she's not just going home. She's going to him. That's exactly what happened to me. And when I finally uncovered the truth, I didn't just lose my wife. I discovered just how far betrayal can push a man, into revenge so cold, so calculated, that she never saw it coming. If you've ever been lied to, cheated on, or made to feel like you weren't enough, this story will hit you hard. Let me tell you how I turned heartbreak into justice. I'm 46, married for almost 10 years with two amazing kids, 9 and 7. For years, I thought my marriage was solid. Sure, we had ups and downs, but who does? Every summer, my wife's parents would fly her and the kids back to Pennsylvania for a week. I stayed behind for work. It seemed harmless, but 2 summers ago, things changed. When she came back, she was distant, less affectionate, barely touched me, and when we finally were intimate, I ended up with a yeast infection. That might sound like too much information, but it's important, because I had never had one before. My doctor treated it, I chalked it up to stress. But then the following summer, the exact same thing happened. Another infection, another trip to the doctor, and this time the suspicion hit me like a freight train. Something wasn't right, something was very wrong. We stopped being intimate for months. She told me she wanted therapy. She even said there were things she needed to tell me, but only with a therapist present. That's when the paranoia set in. I started noticing every little change. How she'd always be on her phone, how she'd smile at messages but never share who they were from. How she started saying things like, "We're not happy, are we?" And then, fate handed me the truth on a silver platter. One morning, she gave me her phone so I could load up Universal Studios tickets for the kids. I had just woken up, groggy, not even thinking straight. But while pulling up the tickets, I saw her Instagram, and curiosity got the better of me. What I found, it broke me. She was in the middle of an explicit conversation with some man from Pennsylvania. Not just flirting, graphic, sexual, intimate. They talked about what they had already done together, about what they'd do next time. One message burned itself into my brain forever. "If I come home, you have to love me forever. I'm not going to sneak around." That's when it all made sense. The coldness, the distance, the infections. She wasn't loving me, she was loving him. My hands were shaking, my stomach was in knots, but I knew I needed proof, so I screenshotted everything. That day at work, I couldn't focus. My chest was tight, like I couldn't breathe. Eventually, I left early and met up with my best friend. I told him everything, through tears, through anger, through drinks I probably shouldn't have had. And then, when I finally got home, I pulled her aside, away from the kids. She looked me straight in the eyes and asked, "What's wrong?" I said, "You know, don't you?" And she whispered, "Yes." That was it, no excuses, no denial, no fight, just a cold, detached yes. I told her, "Our marriage is over. I don't want to talk about this again unless it's in court." She didn't even argue, just said, "Fine." That word cut deeper than any blade. From that moment, we became strangers living under the same roof. She moved to the living room. We only spoke about the kids. But here's the kicker, she kept talking to him. When I asked if she ended it, she snapped, "That's no longer your business." No longer my business. This was the woman I built a life with, the mother of my children, the woman driving a brand new car I bought her. And financially, I was screwed. All our accounts were in my name, all the debt, mine. I'd spent years building perfect credit, and she was already saying she couldn't pay her share. She even refused to sign a simple agreement about bills. She thought she had me trapped, that I couldn't leave because of the kids, the money, the house. She thought I'd roll over and let her live her double life while bleeding me dry. But she was wrong. I realized something. The affair wasn't the end of the betrayal. It was just the start. She was planning to keep using me, keep draining me, keep humiliating me, while her lover got the best of her. And that's when the anger turned to clarity. If she thought I was going to stay stuck, she had another thing coming. I called a divorce attorney. I froze joint accounts. I protected my credit. And I made sure every cent she spent would be tracked back to her. But I didn't stop there. I went nuclear. First, I canceled every luxury that had been in my name. Her car insurance, streaming services, gym membership, even the fancy phone plan I'd been paying for. She wanted independence, she could pay for it. Next, I made sure custody would be in my favor. I documented everything. Every refusal to contribute, every nasty comment, every moment she chose him over our kids. My lawyer built a case so airtight that when we finally hit court, she didn't stand a chance. And then came the car. That shiny new ride she loved so much, in my name, paid with my credit. Guess who repossessed it? Me. The look on her face when the tow truck pulled it out of the driveway, that was the first time I felt free. In the end, she lost almost everything. Her cozy setup, her financial safety net. Even the car she thought she could keep. And me, I walked away with my kids, my credit intact, and the satisfaction of knowing she couldn't use me anymore. She thought she was clever. She thought she'd get to keep both of us, her husband's stability and her lover's passion. But in the end, she wound up with nothing but regret. Betrayal doesn't just break a marriage. It breaks trust, respect, and sometimes even your sense of self. But here's the thing, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. And then, protect yourself and make sure justice finds its way back. If this story gave you chills, tell me in the comments. What would you have done in my shoes? And don't forget to subscribe for more stories where karma serves the coldest revenge you've ever heard.